Hey guys, welcome back. I am having a really hard time getting back into the flow of things. If you watched my last video, I explained in there, I had a really bad, um, I guess it was, I don't know, a few days, a week or so. I'm not sure how long it was. It was kind of all just clumped together, but I had a really bad, um, kind of fall off. And I'm just having such a hard time getting back into the swing of things. Like, I'm just, I'm struggling to like even pray the past couple days. And I was like doing great with that. Like, it was to the point where I was praying sometimes 2, 3 times a day. And not just like little passing prayers, like, no, like deep prayer. And, especially like at night, I was like really, I don't know, there's something about I don't know what it is. I struggle more in the morning when I wake up, and I don't know if that will change over time, but currently I feel like my stronger prayers are like in the middle of the day and then at nighttime. And I think it's just because I have so many thoughts that go through me during like the day. So then when I pray at night, it's like I'm, thinking about all those things. And then in the morning, when I first wake up, it's like I don't really know I don't always know all the things to pray for or talk about with God because the day hasn't even started yet, you know? I mean, I'm sure that might change over time. I don't know, but I'm not sure. Um, I hope everyone's having a good week. I know that I'm not always consistent with my videos, and I really am sorry for that. Um, it's hard. It's not easy reading the Bible every day. It's not easy making these videos. Like, God guided me to do this and to share my journey, and um that's part of the journey, guys. If you think that it's going to just be easy to read the Bible and to consistently read the Bible, it's not. It's not. It's hard. Sometimes you want to quit. Sometimes life happens and you don't read the Bible for a week, sometimes 2 weeks. Um, and and the further you keep going down that road, the harder it is to get back into it. Like, what, it's been like a week and a half since I was like really doing things consistently, almost 2 weeks now. And I was doing really great, and then all that happened, and it's like I feel like I'm trying to like walk through like thick mud. And I'm just like, okay, when are we going to get out of the mud? When are we going to get back to the dirt or the road or the asphalt, something like. So, um, I've even been finding it difficult to just like even just pray. And it's not because I don't want to, I want to. It's more because I just feel kind of like, I don't know, I feel like part of me is like, I kind of let down God a little bit. And so I've just kind of been feeling kind of like, I don't want to say unworthy, but like, I don't even know how to explain how it feels. I just feel like not ashamed, but just kind of like like a little just disappointed with how hard it's been to get back into the swing of things. And it almost just makes you feel like not nervous, but just kind of like, how many times is God gonna understand? How long is God gonna be, you know, empathetic and nice about this? You know, like at what point does he be like, okay, come on, you need to get it together, you know? And how many times am I going to come and pray and tell God, oh, I'm sorry, I'm struggling so much. And then, you know, how much longer is he going to be patient and kind with me about it and understanding? And so part of me was just like, I think I was avoiding praying and coming to God because I was just like, how many more times is he going to just listen to me say, oh, I'm sorry, God, I'm struggling. Even though it's genuine and I truly am struggling and I don't entirely know why. I don't know if it's like a spiritual attack or like, you know, just like, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like I just keep falling into this like these walls and I just don't know what it is. Like I was just praying right now and I'm like, God, I don't even know what's holding me down or what's holding me back, but like whatever it is, like help free me of it. Or show me what's wrong. Like I just feel like there's something that just keeps pulling me back and pulling me back and pulling me back. And I'm like, is it going to be like this forever? Like, what? Like, why is it so hard? Like, I've been trying to work on fixing just, for example, my diet and exercise my whole life. I'm 31 and I I'm just kind of like, okay, like when is that gonna like when am I gonna like get past that point that keeps pulling me back and pulling me back? And then I'm just gonna, you know, finally just get past that and go move forward finally. It's like, is there something I'm missing? Like, well, I don't understand. And I'm running into the same problem with reading the Bible and um, studying it and like really like doing this. I do good for a while and then something just pulls me back. And I don't quite understand it. And it's frustrating. And it's like at what point, you know, it's like where God's like, ah, oh, here she's, you know, apologizing again for struggling. Like, just get it together, you know? But then it's like when you're going through it yourself, you're just kind of like, no, something's wrong. It's almost like when you're truly depressed and someone tells you just get over it. Just it's your mindset. Just get happy. And it's like you're like no, like this is not normal. This isn't like just my mindset, you know? Like if you've struggled with true depression, you understand what I'm saying. Um and so it's like it almost feels like that. It's like I'm trying to make better choices. I'm trying to make changes. I'm trying to like do this and it's just hard sometimes. Like what the heck? That's why I like prayed right now and I was like, God, what is what is this? I want to understand. I want to overcome this. I want to get better and stop being pulled backwards constantly. Is that the enemy? I don't know. I have no idea. It's hard, but I'm trying. It's midnight and everyone's sleeping and I'm here making a video. So, telling you guys about all my feelings. So, I am trying. Well, you've heard my little sob story. So let's get into today's chapters. I have not read them myself. I just listened to them a little bit when I record the chapters. So let's see what we are going to read today.
Now when they drew near Jerusalem and came to Bethphage at the Mount of Olives, then Jesus sent 2 disciples, saying to them, "Go into the village opposite you, and immediately you will find a donkey tied and a colt with her. Loose them and bring them to me. And if anyone says anything to you, you shall say, 'The Lord has need of them,' and immediately he will send them." All this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, "Tell the daughter of Zion, behold, your king is coming to you, lowly, and sitting on a donkey, a colt, the foal of a donkey." So the disciples went and did as Jesus commanded them. They brought the donkey and the colt, laid their clothes on them, and set him on them. And a very great multitude spread their clothes on the road. Others cut down branches from the trees and spread them on the road. Then the multitudes who went before and those who followed cried out, saying, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord! Hosanna in the highest!" And when he had come into Jerusalem, all the city was moved, saying, "Who is this?" So the multitudes said, "This is Jesus, the prophet from Nazareth of Galilee." Then Jesus went into the temple of God and drove out all those who bought and sold in the temple, and overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold doves. And he said to them, "It is written, 'My house shall be called a house of prayer,' but you have made it a den of thieves." Then the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. But when the chief priests and scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, and the children crying out in the temple and saying, "Hosanna to the Son of David," they were indignant and said to him, "Do you hear what these are saying?" And Jesus said to them, "Yes. Have you never read, 'Out of the mouth of babes and nursing infants, you have perfected praise'?" Then he left them and went out of the city to Bethany, and he lodged there. Now in the morning, as he returned to the city, he was hungry. And seeing a fig tree by the road, he came to it and found nothing on it but leaves, and said to it, "Let no fruit grow on you ever again." Immediately the fig tree withered away. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, "How did the fig tree wither away so soon?" So Jesus answered and said to them, "Assuredly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what was done to the fig tree, but also if you say to this mountain, 'Be removed and be cast into the sea,' it will be done. And whatever things you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive." Now when he came into the temple, the chief priests and the elders of the people confronted him as he was teaching and said, "By what authority are you doing these things? And who gave you this authority?" But Jesus answered and said to them, "I also will ask you one thing, which if you tell me, I likewise will tell you by what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, where was it from? From heaven or from men?" And they reasoned among themselves, saying, "If we say from heaven, he will say to us, 'Why then did you not believe him?' But if we say from men, we fear the multitude, for all count John as a prophet." So they answered Jesus and said, "We do not know." And he said to them, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things. But what do you think? A man had 2 sons, and he came to the first and said, 'Son, go work today in my vineyard.' He answered and said, 'I will not.' But afterward he regretted it and went. Then he came to the second and said likewise. And he answered and said, 'I go, sir.' But he did not go. Which of the 2 did the will of his father?" They said to him, "The first." Jesus said to them, "Assuredly I say to you that tax collectors and harlots enter the kingdom of God before you. For John came to you in the way of righteousness, and you did not believe him, but tax collectors and harlots believed him. And when you saw it, you did not afterward relent and believe him. Hear another parable. There was a certain landowner who planted a vineyard and set a hedge around it, dug a winepress in it, and built a tower. And he leased it to vine dressers and went into a far country. Now when vintage time drew near, he sent his servants to the vine dressers that they might receive its fruit. And the vine dressers took his servants, beat one, killed one, and stoned another. Again he sent other servants, more than the first, and they did likewise to them. Then last of all, he sent his son to them, saying, They will respect my son. But when the vine dressers saw the son, they said among themselves, This is the heir. Come, let us kill him and seize his inheritance. So they took him and cast him out of the vineyard and killed him. Therefore, when the owner of the vineyard comes, what will he do to those vine dressers? They said to him, He will destroy those wicked men miserably and lease his vineyard to other vine dressers, who will render to him the fruits in their seasons. Jesus said to them, Have you never read in the scriptures, The stone which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone? This was the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore I say to you, the kingdom of God will be taken from you and given to a nation bearing the fruits of it. And whoever falls on this stone will be broken. But on whomever it falls, it will grind him to powder. Now when the chief priests and Pharisees heard his parables, they perceived that he was speaking of them. But when they sought to lay hands on him, they feared the multitudes, because they took him for a prophet. And Jesus answered and spoke to them again by parables and said, The kingdom of heaven is like a certain king who arranged a marriage for his son, and sent out his servants to call those who were invited to the wedding, and they were not willing to come. Again, he sent out other servants, saying, Tell those who are invited, See, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and fatted cattle are killed, and all things are ready. Come to the wedding. But they made light of it, and went their ways, one to his own farm, another to his business, and the rest seized his servants, treated them spitefully, and killed them. But when the king heard about it, he was furious, and he sent out his armies, destroyed those murderers, and burned up their city. Then he said to his servants, The wedding is ready, but those who were invited were not worthy. Therefore go into the highways, and as many as you find, invite to the wedding. So those servants went out into the highways, and gathered together all whom they found, both bad and good, and the wedding hall was filled with guests. But when the king came in to see the guests, he saw a man there who did not have on a wedding garment. So he said to him, Friend, how did you come in here without a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then the king said to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. Then the Pharisees went and plotted how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent to him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Teacher, we know that you are true, and teach the way of God in truth. Nor do you care about anyone, for you do not regard the person of men. Tell us, therefore, what do you think? Is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not? But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, Why do you test me, you hypocrites? Show me the tax money. So they brought him a denarius, and he said to them, Whose image and inscription is this? They said to him, Caesar's. And he said to them, Render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. When they had heard these words, they marveled, and left him and went their way. The same day The Sadducees, who say there is no resurrection, came to him and asked him, saying, Teacher, Moses said that if a man dies, having no children, his brother shall marry his wife and raise up offspring for his brother. Now there were with us 7 brothers. The first died after he had married, and having no offspring, left his wife to his brother. Likewise the second also, and the third, even to the 7th. Last of all, the woman died also. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife of the 7 will she be? For they all had her. Jesus answered and said to them, You are mistaken, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of God. For in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels of God in heaven. But concerning the resurrection of the dead, have you not read what was spoken to you by God, saying, I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob? God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. And when the multitudes heard this, they were astonished at his teaching. But when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees, they gathered together. Then one of them, a lawyer, asked him a question, testing him and saying, Teacher, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said to him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them, saying, What do you think about the Christ? Whose son is he? They said to him, The son of David. He said to them, How then does David in the Spirit call him Lord, saying, The Lord said to my Lord, Sit at my right hand, till I make your enemies your footstool. If David then calls him Lord, how is he his son? And no one was able to answer him a word, nor from that day on did anyone dare question him any more.
I don't even know what to say. I definitely want to read, I want to read that again, especially the beginning of chapter 22. It was very interesting how it was like comparing, if I remember correctly, the kingdom of God to like a wedding or something. Well, I mean, it was a parable, right? It is too late in the day for me trying to understand all of this. I definitely have to read this again. Don't they say that walking with God is hard? I don't know, guys. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I'm honestly just I'm just trying to get back into my routine of things. So I'm going to have to read these chapters, read tomorrow's chapters, and just get back into it the best I can. I'm definitely going to pray for God's help because I definitely could use it. All right, guys. Well, I will see you tomorrow. And if you are struggling like I am, do not give up. Okay. Bye.